Good morning. This is Grateful Ed. Hope you're having a great day. It is a great day to be alive, and I thank God I'm alive and able to give this video today. I want to say hello to everybody and to send my love. It's a crazy time in the world, but when I see these things on TV and it starts to get you down a little bit, you got to rise above it and know that there's a higher purpose about what's going on in the world. I want to say a big thank you to all the people who have given me the benefit of the doubt when it comes to being able to express my views and telling my story, to try to put some balance into the whole situation. I really do appreciate that. And again, also for all the people that have stood up and have taken action at whatever level in order to break down these phony narratives and basically the false government that we're living under. So I want to talk a little bit today. The thing on my mind is on these classified leaks, right? This Airman Teixeira, excuse me. And whenever you've got classified document leaks, it's a bad deal, okay? But there was something about the FBI that didn't sit right with me about them going in and using their SWAT team and making a big deal, live on TV about. But there was a quote I saw today about MTG talking about, from the things that have been disclosed because of this data breach, because of the leak of classified documents. And I didn't know this, but it also shows that we already had troops on the ground in Ukraine. Okay, and my opinion on Ukraine is it's a waste of time, waste of resources for America, and it's a big cover-up for the politicians, especially Biden and all the cronies, to cover up all the things that have been going on there for so many years. But it's kind of strange to see how these things manifest and are played out in the press from really what happened into the end result. So I guess we're going to have to take a look at these documents and what have been released and what's been held back from the American people. Because my gut reaction, the first thing when I heard that this morning is, what's going on? It seems like it reminds me back to the Vietnam days. This was before my time, but later on I found out about that these things were, there were people, advisors, military, CIA, who knows who the government would hire and put in there, okay, in order to I will say facilitate a war, okay, to get things started up, but also to hold that back from the American people. So, that's going to be very interesting to see how that all plays out. It is, like I say, it's the way the Biden administration handled it, though, it really shows a lot of incompetence at a lot of levels, number one. Number two, there's also been talk about the overclassification of documents. And I suppose that could be used to hide back secrets that they don't want the general population to know about when it comes to military and military operations and the things that they've been keeping from the general public. And the other thing I got to add on there when it comes to classified documents is all the classified documents that's been found excuse me, at Biden's house, Biden's garage, Pence's house. These things have happened, within the past 6-8 months, but also really the raid on Mar-a-Lago with President Trump. And there's a definite imbalance when it comes to these things. What's classified, what they want you to know, what they want you to see. And then also with the government setups, okay? And the distortion of those setups from the press in order to keep you away from the real truth. So to bring that back around, it's going to be real interesting how this manifests with Aaron Teixeira's case, and what's been withheld from us, especially about Ukraine. There's a lot of money, a lot of money that's been sent there, and I believe it's for all the wrong reasons when it comes to fighting the wars again, especially when it comes to American interests. You've got that going on, and then simultaneously look at China. Look at China and Taiwan. Okay, that's a tinderbox. That's a breaking point right there. Okay, and of course North Korea is saber rattling too, shooting off missiles out, and I guess across China, or excuse me, across Japan, or into I don't know the name of the ocean, but the sea there. That's it really threatens Japan and their sovereignty. South Korea too. That's it's just a tinderbox waiting to happen. So how the government and how Biden administration is handling this, it's not in America's best interest. And it brings me back to President Trump. We didn't have these problems under President Trump. We had real leadership when it comes to the world politics in the best interest of the American people, okay, when it comes to spending our dollars, and also strategy within the Middle East, the Far East, and Europe. He done called out the United Nations about what they're about. So, okay. So last week I saw this, whenever I see a story on MSNBC, CNN, and maybe BBC simultaneously, okay, it's like they're pushing their propaganda. Maybe they got new talking points, new stories to release simultaneously, okay, to keep you distracted and fooled, right? So this was about Judge Thomas, okay, and I guess about his conflict of interest, about taking trips on a private jet, something to that effect. I never did look into it, to see exactly what the beef was. I guess they were saying he was taking gratuities that he wasn't, that he shouldn't do, conflict of interest type stuff. But also I heard, that he had to seek guidance on these things, because I guess he had a friend that's a multimillionaire, and he said, hey, we're going to go do this, whatever on the weekend or event, and I'm going to send my jet or use my jet, whatever. Now, if he went out to seek guidance there, I don't see how you could blame him, man. He got the advice, hey, it's okay to do. It's almost as though, now they're trying to drag up everything they can on him, okay. And there's a correlation about his wife. I'm not sure how that plays into it, but it's being highly politicized about him personally, in my opinion, okay. And I've kind of cut to the chase when it comes to this, okay. Remember, during his hearings on this sexual harassment with Anita Hill, okay, Biden was the one in there. Now, Biden was driving the train, okay, so in my opinion, I don't know, but he may be one of the people who knows, who's lived through and survived this kind of scrutiny from Biden, okay, and to show exactly what he's like when it comes to his racial relations, what he's really like. And also the fact that he's a threat, okay. On the Supreme Court, he's a threat because he knows exactly what they are like. He knows exactly what Biden is up to. And he's, like I say, he's lived through that scrutiny, if you will, or setup, okay, to make you think one thing about Clarence Thomas. But in fact, it was totally different. And I don't know all the details behind that, but something's up with that, okay? Something's up with that. That is just not right. And it's another example of the media manipulating exactly what the narrative they want to tell you from the truth. And I really do believe, they're just it's like propaganda. It really, really is propaganda at this point. So the last thing I want to talk about is Jim Jordan and having a meeting. I guess it's a House meeting up in New York City. Okay, so in my opinion, that Alvin Bragg has got no right to sue him. Okay, if a congressman wants the answers from this prosecutor that's clearly after President Trump, he should be able to report up there and answer the question. But it's another, smokescreen, if you will. But I guess the intent of the meeting, and I think it's today, is that Jordan is going to interview the people who have been victims of crime in New York City, because it's just everything's out of control when it comes to this. Okay, and it's going to give a good example of how he will let criminals walk free, if you will, and they have no fear, because if they know that a prosecutor is corrupt, even if they commit their crimes, they know they're going to get away with it. Okay, so with Jordan having his meeting up there, up in New York City, it's going to give a good example of the people, the citizens that have been disenfranchised from these policies of Alvin Bragg. So it's going to be interesting, but I like it. I think it's a good move, to show people exactly what's going on. And how the corruption of their prosecutors affecting their lives. Okay. I want to talk about the focus has been on Trump, okay? And of course, there's been witch hunts. They've spied on his campaign. The Russia hoax, Russia. This Ukraine, when President Trump was in office, okay, he was trying to get to the bottom of and bring justice to a situation in Ukraine, okay, that perhaps could have saved us all this heartache, about what's happening right now. But that was distorted by the press, and sabotaged by a lot of government people in high level positions. Part of the, for my opinion, part of the people who gave the false testimony there, against President Trump. Part of the embassy and their attaché there that they have in Ukraine, because they were on the take, I suppose, and just part of the deep state government. But numerous amounts of lawsuits, okay, and now you've got Attorney Bragg or DA Bragg going after Trump, okay. I'm just saying that keep in mind, okay, a couple things. Number one, the statute of limitations are expired, okay. Number two, the federal prosecutors, they would not touch it. The reason why is they could not, there's no way they could prove a case against, he violated campaign rules by these actions that have taken place, okay. So they're not going to pursue it because they know they can't win. The other thing is that he's one of these politicians, the Democratic politician, that have, how can I say it, they've made it part of their campaign and let it be known to all their constituents in the world to see that they are after President Trump, okay? So while they're after President Trump and all the criminals run free, it's crazy, okay? It really is crazy. And then the media, in order to back them up, that's what I'm saying. This divide is too much. Way too much. President Trump has done more to stand up for the American people. And however difficult it may be to show us exactly how the inner workings and interrelationship between the fake government all the way down to your local and county governments when it comes to the how some people are treated versus the whole population. How some people are singled out when other people just can walk free and do whatever they want. From the local to the state to the federal government, I'll put the media in there, and I will put the high-level contractors and high-level litigators, okay, when it comes to that. The revolving door between the government and private sector who does business with the government. So, he's done more to show us these things, and also, to renew our patriotism and to know that this is a time to stand up, speak your voice and, take action however you see fit, within the law in order to stand up for what you feel the American values and the Constitution is. He's done more for that than anyone in my lifetime. Reagan was close, but it was a different time, okay? And it was a different time and a different era, and there was a different attitude about America, It really had. From my lifetime, you can tell how the media and the press and the politicians and pop culture, pop media, television and movies, to a large degree have discredited America and discredited, how can I say this, our patriotism. And President Trump has done more to wake a lot of people up and, to bring us into a consciousness, if you will, to where we can see through that phony bullshit. That's very, very important, very, very important. And, I'm gonna close. One more thing is this Leonardo DiCaprio story. I can't get off that. I read that about a month ago. Now I see where it's the trials, the testimony is taking place, and you don't hear a word. You don't hear a word from it in the press. I'm like, what's going on? This is a prime example. If you looked up this Leonardo DiCaprio federal testimony, and, I don't know Leonardo DiCaprio. That's a thing. I'm just saying he's a big star, and he gets a lot of attention, right? So, him and this Press Michael, CCP linked, what's this dude's name? Mr. Lowe, yeah. Okay, this Malaysian financier. He's pumping $20 million into Obama's campaign, right? Because he gets the hobnob. He's trying to get in hobnob, with the, I guess, the sports elite and the rappers, the movie stars, the people who have access to Obama's campaign. And he also tried to get in with President Trump, and I think because of maybe one of his rivals or something to try to get, some leverage on a, how can I say it, another Chinese citizen. I don't want to go into something I don't know. But anyway, this is very interesting, how they run their operations, through the pop culture. But what's real important to me is how the media will not even cover it. So anyway, that's what I have for today. It is, like I say, it's a great day to be here and a great day to make a video. So have a great day. Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless America. And keep on keeping on.